Hey, hello everyone. So I'm Iago, and I'm here to present TenSolver. That's a solver for QUBO that developed with Professor David Bernal at Purdue University when I was working there. So let's start a small motivation. As we've seen in the previous talks, a lot of people are trying to use GPUs, QPUs, like novel hardware to parallelize MIP. It's it's a very hard problem. In general, the classical algorithms are CPU bound, and so this talks this solver is trying to at least feel a bit of this whole field. So our idea is first focus on a specific problem instead of the whole of MIP and see how can we help parallelize it. But instead of starting with GPUs, which will be the rational and most straightforward way, we had a QPU at hand, so we tried to use a quantum computer to solve a class of mixed integer problems. More concretely, we use a quantum annealer, which is not a general quantum computer, but it's a very good one for solving QUBO. It requires some pre-processing, but it works well. So let's start with what's a QUBO. It's a class of optimization problems where you basically have quadratic unconstrained binary optimization. Only binary variables, and you have no constraints, and you optimizing x dot qs. It seems very, very, very specific, but it's in fact a very general problem that can represent a lot of other ones with some preprocessing. So, for example, if you have an interlinear program, and if choose an adequate quadratic penalization, you can get a QUBO with the exact same solution to that problem. So for example, here I have a VRP problem taken from an IBM paper. And if you choose a quadratic penalization, you get this QUBO with the exact same solution. So you can also do some binarizations, and basically all of mixed integer linear programs are to an epsilon approximatable by a QUBO. So I think it's an okay class to focus on. So we took that QUBO, we took the D-Wave machines, and I was very interested in some VRP problems from an ExxonMobil IBM paper. And the best thing, the machine is fast, but it solves 1,000 times it solves the problem in 0.3 seconds. But for at most 11 variables. These machines are fast, but they are very, very novel and very, very small. So what's the problem? For me, quantum optimization is a science for the future, but we want to solve problems right now. 11 variables is nice, but you can't do that by hand. So the idea behind TenSolver is, okay, it's fast, let's try to take a look at what the quantum computer is doing, look at the theory, and see if you can actually learn something from it for writing a solver on classical machines. So the main idea is that here I have a small table. We have classical and quantum models, classical and quantum methods. We are goodbye quantum computers. We are turning classical problems into quantum problems and solving them on classical computers, like this laptop, for example. So a very quick crash course on quantum mechanics. No one's learning quantum mechanics in that, but I need the terminology. The main idea behind quantum is that instead of looking at discrete variables, you look at probability distributions over these variables. The second main idea is that you are not looking at actual probability distributions, but you are using complex coefficients, because then they can kind of interact with each other, and you get better algorithms. At least, I guess that's what nature thought about it. So we have some straightforward conversions to take a classical optimization problem, turn it into a quantum problem. We basically turn all variables into probability distributions, or convex vectors, complex vectors, And then we can take then an optimization problem like a QUBO and turn that into like a huge linear operator with some fun properties. Like this operator's least eigenvalue is the same as the optimal cost for the QUBO. And its eigenvectors will be like a probability distribution over the optimal solution for the QUBO. So, okay, finding least eigenvalues is very easy to parallelize and run on GPUs, but we have an issue that we need exponentially more coefficients. So that's also unfeasible. So this comes to the third part of the third idea, that's to use tensor networks to represent the quantum systems. So basically, tensor networks are like unevaluated tensor contractions. Every time you see a paper claiming quantum supremacy, someone posts like 2 weeks after that a tensor network algorithm like breaking the claim on archive. So they seem like a good tool. They are always like improving. We have great Julia packages using them. In general, they look like that. They're like contractions, and they are very pretty also to put on papers. So focus on a specific kind of tensor network called major product operators. We have some nice properties. First, we have polynomial algorithms to get very good approximations for their least eigenvalue, which is what we're looking for. These algorithms are also parallelized when runs on GPUs, which is great. And we have to prove that while doing the solver, we only need like a cubic amount of coefficients to represent the QUBO using a tensor network. So we went from like 2 to the n to basically like n cubed, which is like, this is feasible on an actual machine. So basically like the algorithm, what the solver is doing like a very high level is that it takes the QUBO, uses a tensor network to represent it, run the eigensolver algorithm until it finds like an approximate probability distribution over the solution, and then samples this probability to return like the solution for the user. JuMP was very great for the start. I couldn't discover how to use JuMP for the last part, so if anyone knows, please tell me the next break. And then that was the theory. Now we get the package. We're showing the QUBO using tensor networks. We already had JuMP and like iTensor to help out. So basically like our main architecture is this one. You are using TenSolver, you write a JuMP model. If it's a QUBO, it goes straight. If it's a MIP, it goes through like some conversion procedures. Then you got Red Hat, like on the ecosystem, you got Red Hat QUBO.jl that can pre-process like the whole interfacing for the QUBO to like speech towards a matrix. And then what the solver is actually doing is that it's talking to a tensor network backend. Right now, our only backend is iTensor.jl, but like, we're working on making it more agnostic. And then it will like do all the representations, run iteratively until it finds an adequate like distribution, and returns a solution like for the user. So from the user viewpoint, like one of my main worries was to make it the most boring possible to use. So you don't have to know anything about quantum, won't have to know how to use JuMP. Basically, you write your model. For QUBO, you don't use a lot of like constraints or that. It has like GPU acceleration, can just pass the device as a solver attribute. And like, if you run that, it will optimize and find you your solution. So now some results. So first comparing like that 11 variable problem like on the QPU. The QPU, we had 0.3 running on both the CPU and GPU. The CPU is like the best of all. But like there's a lot of things like the deal with quantum computer was in Canada, so it's hard, that's the whole round trip. So the GPU, there's also some communication overhead. So I started this graph, some variables, the QPU just does that. And you can see that like as it grows, the GPU approaches, and then for like large number of variables, it's much better to use a GPU. These are like VRP results. We also run the solver on like QUBO is a classical quadratic programming data set for like benchmarking. You run a lot of QUBOs from QUBO, like a lot of cores for the CPU and parameters, and then this time we didn't want to just benchmark the solver, we want to try that out against like an actual MIP solver, so against QUBO for the QUBOs. And I have to say, we can't beat QUBO yet, but it's very hard. But sometimes, like QUBO, it's very common for a QUBO that it finds the solution, but has no idea that it has found the solution. So oftentimes, like TenSolver would like finish before QUBO, saying, "Oh, that's the actual solution." So for this case, the GPU wasn't so useful, but like the CPU, here is 32 core, but it scales very well when you put more cores to it. So it's parallelized very well. So those are the results, and thank you.